Hi, everybody.
Hi.
It's the Fleece and Harmony Knitting Podcast.
Knitting.
Coming at you from downtown Belfast, Prince Edward Island.
Oh, we are more downtowny now. We have a bakery.
Yes, I've been there. Have you been?
No, I'm not up that early.
Oh.
Actually, I drive by at that hour quite often, but
It's excellent.
apparently they have cream puffs and the whole 9 yards.
It's patisserie, really.
Oh!
Yes.
I see.
Yes, so even though it's called the Country Taste Bakery, it's actually not very country. It's actually very patisserie, latte, upscale, downtown.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really downtown.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So
delicious.
So the yellow steel siding belies a secret.
Yes.
You're just not...
Inside is really, really, really nice. And I can tell you I had one of the best grilled cheese sandwiches that I've ever had in my life. And they asked me if I trusted them to choose the bread. I said, sure. It was raisin bread. It was really good.
Wow.
Well, you wouldn't have liked it because you don't like raisins. But it was really good.
That is a bold choice, though. I can appreciate that.
Yes. Just like in color, when you have that color that you're knitting and you just can't... You
quite put your finger on it?
Yeah, it was spectacular. And I had an almond tart, but there was all kinds of patisserie stuff there, like
wow,
nice looking white cheesecakes that looked like flames.
Oh,
like
wow,
like
now I'm really motivated.
Yeah, it was good. And the coffee was excellent.
Wow, okay, good.
Yeah,
well, that's exciting. You know, when a new business opens in a small place like this,
yeah,
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
They were lined up in the muddy parking lot. I was like, I'm not going up there. I'll get stuck.
Yes, well, they had the same problems that we all have with the mud, but then I think they must have just put a load of rock in there before I came, but it's, you know... When the ground gets wet here, it turns into chocolate pudding, basically.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. Like, it's just, like, there was, like, a bunch of roads paved with some infrastructure money that was provided to the provinces, and I was driving on one of the newly paved roads a couple days ago, and with the freeze and thaw that we had, already it's starting to get wavy. Like, it's just... the way our soil
There's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
It seems really weird because when you hear sandy soil, you don't think of chocolate pudding.
No.
Like, it shouldn't be that fluffy.
It becomes very fluffy.
Yeah. It's weird.
Very fluffy and slippy.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. I forget.
Anyway.
I don't know how we got on that topic.
Yeah, because of the bakery. Their driveway.
I know, but I don't know how we got on the bakery topic.
Oh. Because you said we're downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bustling Belfast. Okay. Yes, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. I forgot what we were talking about.
So we're going to be very happy that when people come to our shop in the summer, hopefully, everybody says, is there a place where you can get a quick coffee? And the answer is always no. But now it's yes.
I'm sure that's what these smart business people have figured out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, there is a place to get coffee.
Yeah.
And cream
A
puffs.
really good one.
Okay,
and
good.
Really good patisserie.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a farm update.
And I should say, I actually broke my no caffeine, no sugar thing to have it. That's
You let that slip.
yeah. So in case anybody's following along, that's right. That's what I did, but that's okay. Anyway, it was one thing, and then
I am amazed. Okay.
What?
I can't. I didn't last a day. I tried.
oh no,
Yeah.
I'm fine, completely fine. I don't know why. Just one of those things.
It was never for you.
I don't know. Just one of those things. I could do without it.
God, I wish.
Yeah.
Sugar especially. Like.
Yeah. And I mean, I actually did start looking at the grams of sugar on things, which is horrifying.
I bet.
If you buy anything processed
Yeah.
and you look at the sugar, it's horrifying. So I'm kind of looking at that, but I'm not being hard on myself if I felt like it that day, so I did it. But anyways, that's fine. I'm kind of over it now. I mean, it's not even, I don't even think about it anymore.
And you don't have your aches at night? Aches and joint aches
No.
at night?
No.
All right, good. Okay, so we don't really have a farm update.
No, not much is happening. Oh, well, the ATV's broken.
That's exciting for everybody.
So now
the clutch went in the ATV.
Yeah, the clutch went, the wet clutch. What's that? I have no idea. Unless it was a typo when
Did
Ken
the
got
wet
the
clutch
text.
become dry?
I don't know. I have no idea what it is. Somebody probably knows, but
Is there also a dry clutch?
I have no idea. I said the wet clutch.
Maybe it was the west clutch.
I don't know.
Maybe he was going to take the clutch went.
Yeah.
And you got the wet clutch.
Yeah. But it sounds slightly awful.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, the wet clutch. And Ken's not a mechanic, so he goes, I don't know. He said, geez, because I was like, what is that? He's like, Kim, I don't know. He just said the wet clutch.
Well, let's hope it comes back properly moistened.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. So
Let's talk about Paisley.
yeah, we're moving right along.
Okay, where is it?
Okay, it's buried here.
All right.
Okay, so really, I'm still plugging along. I'm getting.
We'll just call this the still plugging along section.
Yes. So, but it's like I have to do 42 centimeters of this because it's down like over your hips. So now I know why Andrea did a cropped version.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she did a cropped
I
version.
don't remember that.
So it's like it's growing for sure.
All right. Well, I see. Yeah, you're just plugging along.
Yeah, I'm plugging along. I actually have 6 more centimeters to go, and
That's
then
not
I
very
start the
much.
sleeve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the sleeve, it's almost there, and I slipped it on, and just because I was worried about my gauge, because if you've been watching this project for a year now, you heard that I had problems with the gauge and actually ripped out a big part of it, and it's fitting perfectly.
That's good.
So it's just it's good.
Gauge is always a theme in this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
You can't escape it.
No.
Steve didn't ask us anything this time.
Oh boy. Okay,
Everybody's
good.
got bitten by the gauge bug.
Yeah. So this
It's
is
everything, as you're about to find out. Okay.
Okay. This is really this is really good. So I don't want to give you any trauma when I'm going to pull out my 2 at a time front
This
and
looks
back.
like there are so many balls of Kid Silk Haze on the table. It's
You wanted me to go next with this,
yeah.
right? Okay.
As soon as you compile it all,
Yeah. So this is Madeline or Madeline. I don't know.
I think it's Madeleined.
Ma-
But we'll just
Madeline.
we'll show the design completed. Okay.
So now then
Right.
this hot mess.
They can't see the balls though. You need
No,
to,
I'm gonna get
Oh,
them.
okay.
I'm gonna get them.
I
So-
can't believe you're doing this 2 at a time. What's wrong with you?
I know, but I had a little
You
trick
can't even get them all.
because I'm not. So yes, I have 6
Hold
balls
them up.
of yarn.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
Who would
what
carry?
it looks like.
Who would carry that around?
Okay.
Seriously.
So this is what I had to do because I'm crazy, but I'm not completely nuts. So
If the cat gets a hold of that.
yeah, she doesn't seem to be interested in this. She likes the woolly wool.
Okay.
Yeah, she lays on that. So it's absolutely gorgeous. Like the design, I'm gonna hold it. It's got a little bit of a roll on it. I'm hoping that that's gonna block out the ribbing.
This is the finish. Like that's actually just
Yeah.
the bottom.
The
but when you
ribbon-
sew it together and stuff and
Yeah, the
steam it.
ribbing is it's only 2 rows of ribbing.
Hmm.
So and stockinette after that. So this is what.
Wow, you've got a lot done.
Yeah, that's the front and this is the back. So it's gorgeous. But I can tell you, knitting and purling, color work in Kid Silk Haze held double is kind of something else.
So you've got 2 strands and you're taking each strand from a different ball.
Yes.
And then you're doing 2 sides at a time.
Yes.
You could have just did a double pull on the one ball.
I didn't want to do that.
Okay. And reduced your balls to 3.
It's okay. Plus
Okay.
the bark, this is Kid Silk Haze and bark, the brown. And you know what I'm like about dye lots and having one left of a dye lot or whatever.
Oh,
I only
okay.
had one of a dye lot.
You're taking
And
one
then-
for the team.
Yes, so they're 2 different dye
Right.
lots, but it didn't matter because I was combining them and you only need 2 balls of,
Oh, okay.
of
That's
the
good.
bark. So I was able, it's going to be the same all the way through. So I was able to combine dye lots, which might be a good tip for people if they...
Yeah. This is an amazing fabric too. Like it's very
I know.
substantial.
I know. It's hard to believe.
It is hard to
It goes
believe.
from air to
Yeah.
something that's really like
Well, I guess
cushy and-
because it's a fairly small needle, all that fluff is packed in.
I don't know, it's surprising.
It's like dryer lint.
Yeah. Well, it feels very, very nice.
Like dryer
I'm
lint.
going to be like a kitten.
I love dryer lint.
It's really, really nice. So anyway, like I said, I'm not completely crazy. So I decided I'm not going to attempt this color work 2 at a time with all these balls of yarn on the thing. So I did one side up to the top of the chart. And part of the chart is they do give you a break because this is not the final design, because you use duplicate stitch in these places where there would have been one stitch, let's say for 20 stitches, so that you're not carrying your floats.
So this carries down?
Yeah, so
okay.
there's one of these lines carries down,
right.
So you do duplicate stitch. And on the top, where now it's becoming more of the nectar color, there's another design that goes on there that you use duplicate stitch. So once you get to this part of the chart, which is not quite to the top, it's all nectar, and then you use the bark on duplicate stitch. So I stopped the front and then started the back.
Okay, so you're not really doing them two at a time, but you have
But
them
I
both on
will.
the needles.
Yeah,
once
both-
you're past the hard part.
Right.
Okay.
So once I get to the same place in the chart, then I'll do it two at a time, because then it's just straight stockinette.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be, but it goes fast. And like everything, I don't know how long it took me to do the first 2 rows of this chart, because it was like, oh my goodness, like it's really, it seemed not easy to memorize, but then by the time I got to the other side, now it's going like twice as fast.
Always good.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's good. But it is a little unwieldy with all these balls,
Right.
but these brown ones will disappear shortly.
Sweet.
And then I'll just be doing the pink, the nectar.
Yeah. And then once you get through these ones, like I did for my Sunday cardigan, I pulled from the inside and the outside and kept it on one. It's actually pretty easy to do with this yarn, because the center of it is so loose, you can actually dig in there and find it.
Yeah.
Some of them, it's felted tweed, it's harder to find the middle.
Yes.
And they tuck it under.
Right.
Makes it not easy.
Yeah. Anyway, it's really, really nice.
Yeah. Pretty.
And it feels really like a substantial fabric, like we're saying, but it's very light.
I'm sure. It's just air.
Yeah.
It's like dryer lint.
Air and fluff.
Yeah. So before we forget, you're wearing Cornwallis by Martin Storey.
For a
More on
reason.
that later, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I'm wearing Stepaside by Jennifer Beale, which I don't think I've ever worn except for the day that I finished it.
It's cute.
Yeah. It's very cute.
Yeah. So that's the Madeleined.
It's definitely a thick sweater, but it's cold in here
it's
today.
It's in air, and
so I'll be all right.
Yeah. So that's it.
All right.
I dropped a ball.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Yeah.
If I had to pull that out of my bag, I'd be like frustrated.
Put it in the bag.
Right.
What I do is actually unwind quite a long swath and then roll it around the 2 balls together.
No. All right. So my flax, which everybody was, my goodness, the controversy.
Yes.
Is this man worth it?
Looks exactly like chainmail.
Stan the man. So we're wearing the same color. So listen, people. So right away you can tell this looks way more normal, like a normal shape.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
We're not even in the same ballpark.
No.
So I just had to fix the row gauge. It was all good.
Yeah.
People
were panicking.
were very concerned. But he's put a year in. It's all right. he's worth it. So I don't know what to say about it, except it looks so much better. And people said I was making my life way too complicated, but all I had to do was knit another swatch in a larger needle that I thought would give me row gauge. Or really what I did was knit it in a needle that was loose enough to the biggest needle I was willing to tolerate in terms of a loose fabric.
Right.
But garter is very thick and bunchy, so I mean it can be fairly loose. This is a 6mm, I think. Oh gosh. Yeah, right. It's a 10 US 6. No. A 6.5 probably would have been getting pretty loose. This is about as loose as I'd be willing to tolerate. You can probably see a little bit of light going through it. But because it's such a rough design, like rough texture, you won't notice. The sleeve angle is so much better. So it ended up, I needed 2.5 rows for every 2 in the pattern, even with the much larger needle size. So I increased every second row and then every third row, every second row and every third row to get an average of 2.5.
Right.
That's it.
It works perfectly.
Not any more complicated than that. That's for the row gauge. In terms of the stitch gauge, I measured how many stitches to get 4 inches. And then I divided the size I wanted, circumference, by 4 and figured out how many stitches I needed to basically end up with at the full circumference. Pick that size on the pattern. The only tricky part is when it comes to measurements, you have to use the measurement in the original target size.
Yes.
Yeah. So the stitch gauge is in a smaller size, but when it comes to like 16 and a half or 18 inches in length, where you're just measuring, you go back to the original
That's what
size.
I'm doing with my Paisley as well.
Yeah, you're trying to hit.
Yeah.
That's it. It didn't make my life miserable in any way.
Once you ripped it out.
Once I've redone it completely. And I've knit through pretty much all of the yarn that I had on before and a little bit more.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I've got way more done. I haven't done part of the sleeve like I had last time, which made it look so funny because the raglan increases were so off. This looks like a proportionate sweater. Mm-hmm. And the only still a little bit tricky part is trying to get this.
So are you slipping?
I'm slipping.
Every third row?
About every fifth row.
Oh, okay.
I just break the yarn, slip across,
Okay.
knit around.
Okay.
Not a big deal. There's a lot of ends, obviously, because of that. But that's really it.
Yeah.
I probably could do it a little more frequently. I don't know if I can switch now, if that'll affect anything. But that's just to make the stockinette a little bit less wavy.
Yeah.
Because it
doesn't look wavy
the
at all.
stitches are longer than the
Right.
garter rows, okay? But somebody had a brilliant idea, amazing, from mosaic knitting, where they slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one, and then knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, and that actually puts 2 rows into one like this.
Right.
But I don't know if I can start that now.
I wouldn't.
I know. Super tempting though, because that's a totally perfect solution.
Right.
No?
Well, you could try it and see
I'm
what it
too
looks
fast, because by the time the comment came in...
like. Yeah. I don't know. The only thing you could do is try it. And if you can see it, then you're just going to
Well,
have
you'll
to
tell
back
me.
out.
You'll get your progressives on and tell me if you can notice it or not. Right?
Thought you were going to say your eagle eyes.
Oh, okay.
Not my
That was,
progressive.
yeah, sorry. The eagle eyes is what I want. Right? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Well,
No, you're not going to help me. Anyway, and the color is slate, and I'm wearing slate.
Yeah.
Slate worsted, slate
Looks
Aran.
different. A little bit different.
Yep.
That's the power of hand dyeing, folks.
Yeah, well, this looks a little more blue because this is actually quite slubby, and when it goes
Yeah.
into the blue strikes faster than
Oh,
the
okay.
balancing orange and the black.
Because this is seconds. This
Yeah.
is our yarn seconds.
And so the tufts have more steel blue
Right.
color, and the spun part has very little color at all because it's more resistant to taking the dye. Yeah.
Spun.
Of course, and the first time I cast it back on, I knit the neckband in the wrong size. I was like, why is this so loose? And they're like, oh, you're supposed to go down, you dummy. Honestly. Anyway, it's coming along good now. And then where I'm switching, alternating and switching my garter, there is a line, of course. I'm not trying to do any fancy techniques where I don't get
Yeah.
demarcation, but it's in the armpit.
Just
so,
looks like a seam.
yeah, looks like a seam. I've got a few loose stitches where I've switched balls or whatever, but I've been really good. I've alternated the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
And when I took it apart, it came apart in so many balls. I had like little bits.
Oh.
But anyway, they're all knit in now.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd actually be able to get it to finish, but I just had one of those weeks where I just didn't get as much time knitting as I wanted, and therefore also didn't get to start the candy sweater that I mentioned last
It's
time.
just
But
sitting over there,
the
waiting,
yarn is
begging to
sitting-
be knit.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll definitely start it even if I'm not done this by next time, so
Yeah.
that I have something more interesting to talk about. But that's it.
Okay.
Very happy. Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Everybody simmer down. It was really funny reading some of the comments.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all good.
All right. So then there's one little tiny FO.
Okay.
I did a
I thought you were
test.
going to say there's one little tiny problem.
No,
Okay.
I did a test knit. Okay, so this is it.
Which you're showing like way,
Oh.
spoiler alert. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Do first, apologize after.
Yeah, ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Rather than permission.
Right.
I wanted to show it because I think it's very impressive. That this is a knit.
It's impressive in a lot of ways, but which way do you mean?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I think it's impressive that this is somebody's first pattern.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's impressive that this gold color like is so amazing, like as a really fancy ornament, and it's like
Yeah.
a felt. It's like a tweed.
It's a felted tweed. It's felted tweed.
Yeah, I think it's impressive that you finished it that quickly, and that all those little beads fit on the felted tweed.
Yeah.
and that you have a crystal on the bottom.
Yeah, you're damn right. That's impressive. The bead part, that's really impressive.
And did it come with the little finding and everything?
Yeah. Though I
Okay.
had the whole little kit. Everything was all ready to
Okay,
go.
so this is by our friend Joanne from Knit Night.
Yeah, and it's knit and felted tweed, and I don't know how well it's going to show up, but there's little gold seed beads on
Right.
it to make the snowflake design, and it is, there's like ornaments and balls and stuff like that. That's nothing new, but to have something that looks as firm and. I mean, it really looks like a real glass.
I don't know
ornament.
how she got the shape out of it. Like, it's
I don't know.
amazing.
It's amazing. And it's really knit tightly, though.
Mm-hmm.
So Joanne's actually a tight knitter, so that was no problem for her. I'm not a tight knitter, so for me, she was blessed a few times while I was doing it, I
Right.
have to say. So, but the satisfaction, once it was done, far outweighs any little cussing
So
I might
how
have
many
done.
of these are you going to make?
I don't know. It's not a one-day project.
Really?
Yeah, it takes a little while. But I also I gave some feedback on the pattern. So it's definitely, I would say, not a beginner. But
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, but it's or when if you're an adventurous beginner, but it's not because it's difficult to follow the instructions. The pattern was really well written. It's getting the beads in the right place. I have never knit with beads before, so she even for the test knitter, she even strung all the beads on the yarn for you and
Wow,
everything.
Joanne.
Like, she was like really well
Going above
prepared.
and beyond.
So, but I misinterpreted her directions on how to do it. So when she was in the shop, was that yesterday? I guess yesterday or the day before? Yesterday. So when she was in the shop yesterday, she showed me the right technique. And if I had done that right, it would have changed my whole...
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, so now I know. I think she's going to do like a little more instruction on that.
So what
on
was
the
this
pattern.
technique? Like what?
Well, she mentioned that when you're ready to put the bead on, that you push the bead up to the needle and then knit the stitch and use the needle to push the bead through. I was putting the bead up next to the needle that I had in my hand, then inserting the needle and then trying to wrap around.
Oh, okay.
But you don't. You insert the needle and then you push the bead up, and then when you do that, when you make the stitch, the bead pops right out
I think
with the
that's
stitch.
how I did it for my ranunculus.
Yeah, so I was premature on pushing
Okay.
the bead part.
Right.
So anyway, I just can't believe it.
It's incredible the structure of it.
Yeah, feel it.
I did. It's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it's really amazing. And you filled this with some of our wool.
Yeah, so it's filled with wool.
And you fill it at the top.
Yes, so she even tells you how to knit it from the top down or bottom up. So I went bottom up, and then when I got to right about here where it's starting to narrow, I did the stuffing then, and then knit around the stuffing and
Wow.
finished it off.
So all that said, you can't make this yet.
No.
But I'm assuming it's coming.
Yeah,
The pattern.
I would think
when
so.
the test knitting's done.
Yeah.
And then, this is
Then.
amazing. So then you got a little thank you gift
So-
from Joanne, which is more amazing than the ornament itself.
Wow, they're both amazing.
Right,
So
sorry.
this is really
Both amazing.
I've never been so tickled to receive a gift like this. So look at what she made. So this is literally made by hand, and with plain paper and a cardboard box is what she started with. And it's this beautiful little book about your project. So it has a picture of the ornament inside.
Is this a pocket here?
Yes, it's a pocket with little note cards in it
Wow.
that she also made.
It's got like a burnt edge on it.
Yes, and it has all the instructions for the thing, notes about what I didn't like, notes for the next time that you wanted to do. So if you had one of these for every one of your projects,
So cute.
it's so cute.
And these are all little folders.
Little folders.
And she made all this. She even printed the pattern onto the white paper and then put
Yeah,
the paper
she
bound
had
in the book.
she had a paper that had like a vellum
Right.
look to it, and then she printed on that. And then there's this beautiful little pocket in the back that has the chart for the beadwork. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
And all of these little parts are little booklets that you can take out. So if you
Oh,
took
wow.
notes and then wanted to add another little booklet, you could. And
How do you add a booklet?
it's just
Oh, I see. They're just held together on there with string.
yeah.
And you
Like
can
the
string
binding.
on another one.
Yeah.
Really something.
Yeah. I'm delighted.
Everybody's going to want to test it for Joanne now.
Yeah. I'm just tickled. So who knows what'll happen next with these.
Right.
We'll see.
Amazing.
It's really, and it's kind of, it's a little bit sort of like the idea of the idea book from Martin Carlos. And she said that it's a thing called junk journaling too.
Oh.
So I guess it's because you're upscaling or
Right.
upcycling or
Upcycling, yeah.
upcycling stuff. I wouldn't call it junk, but it's
Well,
the
a
whole
cardboard
thing.
box.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the whole thing. So the only difference I think from this and what the Make Your Own Idea book, like the stuff that Arne and Carlos are doing, is that they use papers that are like out of magazines and books
Right.
and stuff like this, whereas she's actually printed all these paper designs on all these papers, and every page is different. It's amazing.
And you must have to buy this binding tape for books and...
Oh, I guess this is some kind of tape, but she also said there was some kind of glue that you use and stuff like that to make sure you get it's really solid. Like it's so now I'm testing this.
Okay.
So she wants me to be a little bit rough on it, but it's kind of precious.
Yeah. I think she picked the wrong person for that. She should have given it to me.
Yeah.
She wanted it ruined.
To see how much it
Right
could
here.
take.
Yeah.
It'll still look like this in 25
Yeah,
years in my
exactly.
place. So,
All right.
Anyway, I just love it. I think I need to use my dipped pointed pen to write it.
Definitely. Obviously.
Yes.
No
You
other
can't
kind of
write it-
pen allowed.
No.
Yeah.
No cheap, plastic pen.
Right.
I'm going to need to do my calligraphy. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Calligraphy
I love
that
it.
right up.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Okay. It's overwhelming. I don't know,
I know.
how long that must have taken her, but all right. So
Yeah.
shop update. We have a couple more of the new Rowan books that we got that we didn't do slideshows on last time,
Right.
although we showed some designs from these in our knitting plan.
Yeah.
So you have picked something from this, so you can talk about this
I
one.
haven't picked it.
Oh,
Ken picked
the
it.
recipient has picked it.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Well, I hope he's knit worthy.
Yeah.
Again,
Usually.
he gets lots of sweaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's okay, where is it? Here. So he's chosen bark, which I think we showed.
Yeah. Well, it was in your knitting plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the same sweater, one with the bulldog and one without. And what you can do a V-neck. The adaptation comes with it's
For the bulldog as well.
no with the V-neck. Like the bulldog is on a round neck, but you can do a V-neck. The
With the
pattern
bulldog.
includes or you can do what you want
Okay.
because it's the same pattern. So that's going to be the next project. He hasn't said if he wants the bulldog yet or not. I think he just wants this plain one, and there's just a little bit of edging with a different color.
Yeah, it's a gray with
band.
a mustard, which is
Yeah.
a really pretty combination.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So that's gonna.
So you're making that out of that, but let's show. I'm excited to pick some music that goes with something called Union.
Right.
If there's something fun available.
Okay.
Of course, you realize when we record this, I have no idea what the music's going to be yet.
Yeah. So
let's
we
go-
can go
yeah.
look at it. But this is all about your man in this one.
And it's all Martin Storey.
yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll go see that.
Okay.
All right.
Slide.
Hopefully the music was amazing.
Yeah. I really want to knit one of the cabled ones.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done nothing like a good cable to get me.
Not my favorite. Yeah. When I get back to my flat rock, I'm going to need you to teach me how to cable without a cable needle.
Yeah.
That's going to be
problem.
cuckoo without it.
It's
a 2x2.
Yeah.
With a 2.75. I can't use the cable needle for that.
No.
Just lose it. I'll lose my mind. Okay.
I've been kind of hankering for I haven't done cables.
Can I interest you in some flat rock sleeves?
No.
Okay.
I don't share food in the restaurant.
This is a Martin Storey.
Yeah.
And this one here is Ease by Lisa Richardson. And we saw a couple things from this in my knit plan. And these are all named after vegetables, which is really funny. Or cute, or I don't know. What is it? It's a little bit like eggplant. It's a little bit quirky. Kale. This beautiful shawl, which if you can see, the end of the shawl tucks into a pocket here to hold it on your shoulder. Amazing. And then I'm knitting something called Yam, which is this little tank top.
Yeah.
And both of those are in fine lace.
Yeah.
And so we'll just go look at the other designs in Ease. And of course, both of these books are now up for sale on our site, and the link to them is in the show notes.
Right.
All right, so that's 2 more books for the spring.
You know what I'm kind of intrigued with is the purse.
In Ease?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's made out of creative linen.
Probably very nice.
Yeah.
You can make that.
It wasn't in my knit plan, but...
You can add it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to add things, you just can't remove
Or I
them.
shouldn't say purse, it's a bag. That shoulder bag. Or
a satchel?
Well,
I don't remember.
I don't know what
they've seen it now. But...
Yeah, they've seen it. There.
Oh, there. It's like a satchel.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Snow pea.
Makes perfect sense. It's great.
Anyway, it just looks nice. So we just ordered some creative linen. It's not here yet, so I can hardly wait to see what that's all about.
Okay. Well done, Lisa Richardson.
Yes, as always.
All right. So now something we haven't done in a few weeks. You're going to do a yarn review or
Yes.
a Rowan review, as we call it.
Yes.
Okay.
So what are we calling this?
Rowan review.
Rowan review. Okay.
That's what we're calling it so far.
Okay.
I haven't come up with anything that I liked necessarily better yet.
Yeah. All right. Yes. We'll just keep. Okay. So that's why I wore Cornwallis. I just wore this a few podcasts ago, but I'm wearing it again because it's made in Summerlight DK. So that's a cotton yarn that Rowan makes, and they have it in two gauges or widths or depths or thicknesses. They have a DK and they have 4-ply, which is finer.
Yeah, 2 gauges, I would think.
Yeah. So I just pulled a bunch of colors, and I didn't really choose necessarily
Very nicely.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely don't go together.
Yeah,
all nice.
So they have lots of colors in each selection of the two of them, and some they have some colors that are the same in both the DK and the finer one, the 4-ply. But it's a lot of neutrals, and the newer ones for this spring are kind of brighter colors.
Yeah.
We don't have them all in yet. We're just waiting.
So
we'll get
this
to
is
them
a
eventually.
weird selection I'll give you.
Yeah, I know. I just pulled a bunch of stuff.
Anyway,
You saw the. Wow!
They've gone everywhere.
This is what the Easter eggs were made from. The Summerlight DK. So you saw all those beautiful colors, and then there's these, and we've just rearranged the shop actually to highlight these yarns. So there's not a person that comes in that, because we have them right at the front of the store this time of year, that comes in and feels it, and everybody says, oh, it's really nice.
Really soft, yeah.
Yeah. So I've, like I said before, when I was doing the Cornwallis, I've knit with cotton yarns like years and years ago. Not that impressed, and never knit another thing from it. And now I have the Cornwallis, and I've been wearing it, and it's perfect. It doesn't stretch. The problem I had with the other yarns that I did like years ago was that I found it stretched a lot, but this is staying perfectly.
Been good, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really nice to knit with as well. It just slides on the needles, and it's just soft on your hands, and it knits up quickly. So it's a really, really nice yarn if you don't want to knit with wool, you want cotton. So they're 50-gram balls in both of the weights, and the DK, we wrote it down because I didn't want to forget, is 142 yards for 50 grams, and the Summerlight 4-ply is 191 yards for 50 grams. So
the DK is the thicker of the two.
the thicker, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That always confused me because 4-ply just sounds like it should be thicker for some reason, but
Yeah, because in our shop, our 4-ply yarn is
it's
thicker.
really thick.
It's
Yeah.
really thick,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's finer.
And we have a kit. Oh,
Yeah.
you're not done yet, probably.
So I don't know what else to say. That's kind of it.
It's just
there's
soft and easy to work with. Good range of colors.
It feels really nice.
Feels really nice on. Very comfortable.
Yeah.
No issues, obviously, with pilling or stretching or anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
good.
this looks still like the day that I took it off the needles.
Very nice.
It's really. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing about cotton is it holds stains. Like when you get something on your wool sweater, unless it's coffee,
Yeah.
you can be pretty much guaranteed that like it'll come out fairly easily.
Yeah.
If you get something on this white, like a PEI dirt or something, it's because I had some white cotton sweaters growing up and they were just always a disaster. It was that thing where you're like, every time I wear this, I get something on it kind of thing, and it doesn't come out. But
So we took some pictures today. Actually, we had a little photography session in the store today, and we I took some pictures of me in this sweater, and with a bunch of different color combinations that you could do, because this is not what the original pattern was. The original pattern is
gray and mustard.
gray, and it's called Summer. The color on the top, it's kind of like a yellowishy, saw it like a muted yellow. I guess is what you would call it.
Chartreuse? No,
No,
not quite.
I don't know. Anyway, Summer. Summer like DK in summer. That's the color. And then I like the nautical look, so I went with these colors, but there's just tons of combinations. And we picked, it's funny because the photographer that was here really is a neutral. She likes to wear neutrals. So we picked a selection of colors in neutrals with browns and kind of like mocha and gray, and stunning. I think it would be really nice. So yeah.
Okay, good.
You let your imagination run wild.
So that's Summerlight, and we have a project that uses the Summerlight 4-ply.
Right.
There's a kit, comes with the PDF pattern.
Yeah.
And we did show it last summer at one point, but
Yeah.
they're restocked now, and now it includes the pattern in a PDF. We used to print the
Right.
pattern and send it out with it, but now it goes in a PDF, and there is a
Yeah.
discount on the yarn and the
Yeah.
pattern
Yeah.
for purchasing it in a kit. So it's called the Wrap 12.
12
Oh,
wrap,
12
I think.
wrap.
Or what?
Is
Anyway.
it Martin Storey?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The name leaves something to be desired.
I found, well, because it must be some kind of a project because there is a wrap one.
Okay.
And they're numbered. So I don't know why. I don't know.
Well, this is number 12.
Yeah.
And it looks like I haven't seen it in person, but it looks like it would be light as air and really nice to wear. And if you...
I've seen it in person.
How?
Because one of our customers knit it last summer and I helped her with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I missed that visit.
It's beautiful.
Oh, okay.
So the stripes, it's kind of hard to see on the picture because it's so subtle. It's really a texture thing. But you do, I think it's 4 rows of the Summerlight 4-ply, and then you do 4 rows of Kid Silk Haze by itself, one strand by itself. So you get that kind of airy, that combination is really nice when you have the Kid Silk Haze really fine in between and then something a little bit heavier. So, and I saw it wasn't quite done, but it was almost done. It was really nice.
And a few other people did order it last year. Like I think Brenda did. And so if you finished it, let us know in the comments and let others know how you like the project.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Feels very summery in here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a couple Ask Us Anythings. Made with Love and Beer is asking, can yarn go bad? So she has some yarn that was gifted from a deceased relative that's been in the bags for a while. Various combinations of materials.
Okay.
Some of it was acrylic. That will never go bad. You're
No.
good. Some of it was wool and some other wool blends and stuff. And she's asking, like, what do I do with it? There were some knitted pieces from projects that were never completed, and what should she do to be able to work with it? And it is an organic material, so eventually it would break down. But as long as it's holding together, just rip it.
I mean, it breaks down. I mean, Prince Charles did an experiment.
Yeah, 20
with a
years.
wool sweater.
Was it 20 years?
We buried it in his garden or a compost heap or whatever. And it started to break down. But I'm pretty sure I have yarn that's way more than 20 years old that I still would knit with.
And if it's dry.
Yeah. As long as it's not been ruined.
As long as it doesn't fall apart, you can unravel the pieces, soak it.
Yes.
And then recondition it, as we've been calling it.
Yeah.
And then
you have to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to just continue, if you're going to pick up the projects and continue knitting.
Yeah.
Then.
And even if it's still in the balls, I would still untwist it, put some ties around it to keep it sort of in order, and still soak it and wash it and then re-dry the skeins.
Yeah.
Just to make sure there's no critter eggs or anything on it.
Depending on where it was stored.
Yeah, it was in Ziploc bags with cloves and
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. I would personally just want to soak it because if it's been stored that long. Just to...
I think that, there's a difference between just having it stored and it being old and then have some kind of damage done to it. Like it gotten wet or something.
But you'd be able to tell.
You'd be able to tell.
Yeah, so if it looks good, you're good. Yeah. Just pull the pieces out.
I still have the yarn that I knit those Fair Isle socks for you, which was when you were 10?
No, it was later.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe you started them when I was 10.
No, I finished those.
I think I was 20. I was early 20s, yeah.
Well, it wasn't yesterday either,
no.
So.
What are you talking about? It's 5 years ago.
20? Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh, what was I watching? So, I was over at Rachel's knitting last night, and we were watching Stingray Retro, this video channel.
Okay.
And Britney Spears' Toxic video came on as a retro video, and I'm like, what is this? I remember listening to this when I flew to Florida for my 30th birthday and went to Jimmy Buffett's, and Rachel was like, and how old are you now?
Yeah.
I'm going to be 47 in a week and a half. And she was like, that's retro.
Yeah.
Britney? How?
Yeah. Add 10 more years to that and see how you feel.
Crazy.
Like when people start to say 1980, I just go, oh, yeah, okay, like it was yesterday. And then you actually do the math and you go, okay.
Like my 30th birthday. It was a while ago now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine how Britney feels.
Yeah.
It was disturbing.
Yeah.
Retro. Holy smokes. She still looked very modern as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
All right.
it looked contemporary.
Yes,
in
it
the
did.
video.
It's timeless. That's the brilliance of Britney Spears. Okay. Anyway, you're good.
All
Made
right.
with love and beer.
Yeah.
Dig around.
Just,
get in there. And
just the important part is if you're gonna rip out what was knitted, and the reconditioning the yarn, as Jen said, is really the important part.
which leads us right into our next question, which is a
Okay.
long one. And as you can see, I put the whole thing.
Wow. Okay.
So Lisbeth Bug is knitting the darkness in brush
Okay.
fleece. Love it. And ripping. She wants to
Okay.
make it very clear she's knitting it and ripping it simultaneously. It's a process.
Okay. What do you mean?
She knits some and then rips it, and then knits it more and then rips it.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant she was knitting it from a ripped.
No.
Oh, okay.
She's knitting and ripping.
She's practicing.
She's learned from us.
Yeah, she's
Whip and rip.
She was practicing.
Yeah.
She's just practicing.
So the yarn.
I want to be. I think I'm going to make that official. That's just practicing.
Okay, you're so right,
That's not no.
Lisbeth. You're practicing.
If you've got it done, and then you have to rip back, then you're ripping. If you're knitting a few rows and not happy with the way it looks, and then rip back, then you're just practicing.
That's just responsible knitting.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So let's.
And this is really interesting because it's the brush fleece, and that's it's a bit like a core yarn with fluff attached.
Right.
So when she pulled it out, God bless her, she actually knit a new swatch with the reconditioned yarn.
She reconditioned.
She pulled it out, yeah.
Okay.
And soaked it. I think she soaked it, but anyway, she re-swatched it and got a different gauge because it went from 13 stitches to 14 stitches gauge, because once you compress that fluff, that's a tricky one.
But she reconditioned it.
I think she said, should I recondition the yarn somehow?
Oh, should I?
And now they don't say to wet your brush fleece. You steam block it. But you can see how, in particular, that type of a yarn would be subject to compression.
Yes. So, are you asking me what I think?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I would say that, is it possible, as you practiced, that your gauge changed naturally? That could be something.
Or I wonder if she steams the reconditioned swatch, if it might actually
Well, I was going to say
blow up a bit.
So did she wash the reconditioned
No,
swatch?
I think she's
Okay.
asking if she should.
So it's a swatch. So I think I would actually wet block it and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. And you probably get the 13 again.
I
I'm
would
guessing.
think so.
Yeah.
Because if it really is just the fact that you're ripping out and then re-knitting without doing anything to the yarn, then I think it would be compressed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wet blocked it, it's a swatch. I would see what happened.
Yeah.
But is the gauge right at 13 or at 14?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But also, then she asked, should she knit with different needles depending on the gauge of rip versus new? Well, only if the whole thing is ripped version. Like, you need to get, I think, recondition it. Try to get the 14, and then you're going to have to stick. I envision her like knitting part of it with a certain set of needles, and then
You can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
Can't do that. So if
You got to pick a size.
Yeah, I think I would start with my swatch. I would wet it and see what happens. If you get 13 after you wet it, and 13 is what you're aiming for or whatever, then I would just knit and don't worry about it, because your garment will reliably block the same way as your swatch would.
Yeah.
So that we talk a lot about that with our yarns, because the SELKIRK Worsted is one that I probably knit the most with, and for sure I know when I knit my swatch and I measure it before I wash it, and then I measure it after I wash it, the garment, it's always bigger. The gauge is always larger. So you start to panic when you're knitting your actual garment, because it looks like it's going to be too small. But then when you wash it, and wet block it the same as you did your swatch, it comes out to be exactly what your swatch was.
Well, for sure, like my flax, I'm expecting it to get quite a bit larger. I mean, it doesn't look like a man size right now, but I'm confident because I've done multiple swatches.
Yeah.
And I know that garter stretches too, just as a stitch. So I can pretty much this is like an accordion.
Yeah.
Pretty much do whatever I want with it.
Yeah.
To get it, I'm just going to block it to the specs.
Right.
Yeah. And then her final option was just put all the yarn in a hidden storage container and start a new project.
No!
That is an option.
Don't do it.
You can also burn it in the fire, as I've learned.
And throw coffee on it.
Yeah. There's a multitude of ways to deal with uncooperative yarn. You just want to make sure you punish it the adequate amount.
Yeah, no. I don't think you have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was our option. So I think this is a very short episode.
Yeah. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay.
We covered everything. I mean, we just didn't have like a big shop update. We hoped to have one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So we're working on a little fun side project that's a special edition coming up.
Oh, okay.
The blue.
I didn't know what it was for a minute.
Yeah.
Now I know.
And just big announcement. From now on, our special collections will be shown on the podcast, but only sold through the newsletter.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit more fair. Everybody gets it at the same time. You don't have to shut down the video, go rush. There are people, I think, that are going into the show notes and not even watching the video and just going to what's there and stuff.
Yeah.
So from now on, every time we put up an episode, the newsletter goes out at about exactly the same time, and the link to purchase the special collections will be in the newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for our newsletter or you've unsubscribed for whatever reason over the years, you got to go in and subscribe again.
Yeah.
And the subscribe thing, sign me up, is in the footer of our website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just think that that's more fair.
Yeah, it's a more diplomatic way of doing it. And then
exactly.
Newsletter subscribers have an equal chance as video watchers, because we do have groups of both, and some they don't all do everything.
Yeah.
And so there is a super special collection coming up next episode. For sure we'll have it done by then. It was supposed to be last episode, then for sure. Some of it's already died already. I'm feeling very confident it's going to be ready for next time. So if you don't want to miss that, you need to subscribe to the newsletter. And I will even put the link to subscribe to the newsletter in the show notes as well, so you can find it. Yeah.
And then I don't know if everybody's noticed that in the show notes of the video, you're doing collection. You should talk about that.
I know. I keep meaning to.
I have to say, because I don't do the show notes. You do the show notes, so I have nothing to do with that. But I've been watching a couple other podcasts, and I went to go down and reference the show notes. Good show notes. There's something to be said for good show notes. And our show notes are very thorough. And I kind of am a bit spoiled because I always look at our show notes, and they're like a reference tool, with all the links and then on top of that, Jen builds anything that's shown in the podcast. She creates one link that links to all of those items,
which
as
would
a
be
collection.
like the episode 69 collection. We'll have a link, and you can go in and see everything we've talked about in one click. Yeah.
So it's really,
some people don't seem to like that, so I still do do them individually below. But the one click collection, like episode 69 collection at the top, will take you right to everything that we've shown. Yeah,
and I copied that into Ravelry too, because I put it on our forum in Ravelry, and I copy all the show notes in there, and I link the patterns in Ravelry as well. But it's
it would work either way.
Yeah, it works either. It goes to the same.
You're
place
just being really thorough.
Yeah,
it's fun actually, the way the linking in Ravelry works.
Is it?
Kind of. Not if you have to do it every time.
Let's just say there's the only little issue is that the search, there's some pattern names, there's a lot of patterns that are named kind of similar, so it gives you all of them, and you go, so anyway, I almost made a few mistakes. I don't know what one it was that I linked, and it was one of these I don't know. Was something I went, oops, that's definitely not it. Like one of those for adults only, whatever. I have no idea. I was like, so that's not the doll we're looking for.
We haven't knit any of those.
No. All right. Remember the day we were at Indigo and we saw that book? Yeah. We couldn't believe it.
It was the Knitting Kama Sutra.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
It's still there. Like, I think it's pretty popular.
It is?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Anyway, kind of a short episode, I think, but we made it and we're all here and we'll just say goodbye.
And were you going to see the harmony part?
Oh, yeah, the harmony part.
People love the harmony part.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see that there's something else there for you?
No.
Okay.
I go in and look. It's all a surprise for me.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Oh!
No.
Okay, wait. One more thing.
This is how this always works.
Yes, okay.
This is like Steve Jobs with his one more thing.
It's the end of the month.
Uh-huh.
So we have to, we are...
the Eleanor pattern sales.
The Eleanor pattern sales. So since clearly we just remembered that that's what we're supposed to do, tomorrow we will calculate exactly what what the contribution is. So for anybody that doesn't know about it, for all the month of March, all of the funds raised from the sales of the Eleanor sweater pattern are being sent to Andrea and Andrew from Fruity Knitting, and we will match that donation from our shop. So the donation of the pattern is Susan Clouston, who designed the pattern and generously donated the proceeds, and then we'll match her contribution.
Yeah. Very good.
So, and we'll tell you how much that is.
Okay.
In a title.
Good.
Okay.
Doing it.
All
there right now.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you like the video.
Send your comments.
Send your comments along. I'm behind on comments again. I'll have to get in there tonight.
Yeah, I would have answered a couple, but I know that message.
I know. Well, now I use them on the computer now. You can feel free.
Oh.
I'm using a different method.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. I gave up on that.
All right.
All right. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.